Moscow, Idaho, with the intent to commit the crime of murder? Yes. Did you?
What a joke.
On November 13th, 2022, in
Hi, guys.
Utah County, state of Idaho, kill and murder Madison Mogan, a human being? Yes. And did you do that willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, and with premeditation and malice of forethought? Yes.
What a bunch of crap!
On or about that same date.
Brian Kohberger's a fed, my friends. We're going to get into it. In my opinion, complete fed. It's all theater.
Did you do that?
He's pleading guilty. There's no evidence. No concrete evidence he was even in the house, right?
Yes.
And there was no crime. We'll get into that, my friends. Absolutely no crime.
Xana Carnot, pardon me, a human being. Yes. And did you do that willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and malice of forethought? Yes.
Unbelievable.
And then on or about November 13th, 2022, again in Lake Top County, Idaho, did you kill and murder Ethan Chapin, a human being? Yes.
Wow.
Willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and malice of forethought? Yes.
No fucking way, man.
Totally agree with you, Tommy. By the way,
Fucking way.
It's recitation of its.
my friends, this is Tommy Jude's channel. Please check him out. He's amazing. He's got amazing guests as well. Tommy's right on with this Idaho 4 case by and large, my friends. That's Once Upon a Crime Time, Tommy Jude's channel. But I hope you're watching my live. This is my YouTube live showing Once Upon a Crime Time. You just heard Tommy's voice. Let's play it again. Sorry, my friends. Here we go. Live.
Thank you. Your Honor, the organization's recitation is different than what.
Thank you, Tommy.
Familiar with that behavior.
This is just unbelievable, folks. The theater. This is why I was trying to expose this. This was an extraction removal operation, my friends. When you look at it, there was no tragedy, in my opinion. There wasn't even a crime. And now Brian's pleading guilty. It's all part of the theater, my friends. He's a fed. This is why it's happening, everyone. Sorry, they're just going to relocate Brian Kohberger. You're never going to see him again, my friends. It's all pre-planned. That's what the feds do, everyone. And Ann Taylor knows it too. She's in on it, in my opinion, my friend. She absolutely knows, right? I mean, it's all script. We should be seeing a trial. This is why most of us did the Idaho 4 case, right, everyone? We were expecting this trial. It was all this mantra talking of a trial coming up in August, and now you see their true colors, some of these cowards in here in this courtroom. Including this guy, in my opinion, Thompson. Deceiver and liar, obviously.
Between July 9th of 2022 and November 7th,
Unreal.
the defendant's phone connected to that particular tower during late night, early morning hours, 10 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Oh, did it? Where's the video evidence that he was even there, Thompson?
We do not have evidence that the defendant had direct contact with 1122 or with residents of 1122.
Brian is a fed. He works with the feds, in my opinion. He was set up as the patsy. He agreed to it. He was on an assignment, as I talked about in my videos, everyone. Trust me.
Deputy Darren Duke conducted a traffic
Come.
stop.
This whole thing is a complete psyop, my friends. I explained it all in my videos. Tommy and I have talked about the extraction removal operation psyop as well.
This was a traffic stop of Mr. Kohberger's car.
Birdie's discussed it
which
before.
turned out to be a 2015 white Hyundai
So very
Elantra.
wrong. This is insane comments from Tom on Tommy's channel. So
Deputy Duke was
we're
able
all
to
sick.
obtain,
It's all theater, folks. Don't be sick. I know it's hard to deal with
His
those.
address, which at that point was an apartment address in Pullman.
It's pretty good Hollywood theater, though. You gotta admit, right?
To
Well, not really.
the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022. The state's evidence would show that
And
early
you vote-
morning hours on that.
Hitler's gonna know too, my friends, the real truth of this case, by and large. You won't know it all, but
It's an apartment in kind of the north.
no, they can't place him at the house. Brian's just a fed, my friends. He was on assignment. He's an actor, part, in my opinion, part of this.
4 a.m. and remained.
I'm gonna get my reading glasses for my YouTube audience in case I see people on the chat page. I got weak internet, so maybe I won't. And I didn't notify you I was going live, my friends. Sorry about that. I just put up a really good interview with Ellie. Check it out, please, by the way.
A business on the Moscow Pullman Highway. Just just across the state line from Moscow. It would show a vehicle matching the description of the defendant's Hyundai Elantra.
These are my reading glasses for any chat, if I see it. I got a sty in my eye, folks.
That the investigators put together from businesses and residents, then show the defendant's car, the white Elantra, as I described.
Allie Jones, PSYOP, exactly. Sorry for my eye, folks. Don't pay attention.
Starting around 3:30 or so.
Totally agree.
Comes into the immediate area of 1122 Kindergarten.
Brilliant.
Dead end. And then leaves several times. Approximately 4:05 that morning, the car entered that area, was leaving, stopped in a second.
Allie Jones, I like that comment. I wish I could know how to give you a like right now. It's a total honest PSYOP. Exactly. Thank you for coming on the live.
The 1122 contains evidence would then show that the defendant entered the residence of 1122 through the kitchen to the side of the residence that would face the area.
Hope you subscribe to my channel, folks, please, and share maybe. Hit the like button, as I always say, the bell icon. Appreciate it. Leave me a comment.
Killed Madison Logan and Pete Gonzalez.
They're not even dead, my friends. I'm telling you, they're protected under the WITSEC program. All 4 students. And the reason you can know it, it was a stage crime scene, my friends. There's no doubt about it. But I have to say legally, in my opinion. This is all bullshit.
That sheath was tested by the Idaho State.
Oh, here we go about the sheath, right?
Single source male DNA was found on the snap of that sheath, as well as blood.
It's all planted. Brian wasn't that. Brian's not in there doing it. Anybody who thinks Brian was capable of taking out 4 healthy people with a knife, let alone even a gangbanger, 1 person, let alone 2, give me a break. Eat the Chapman 6'3", 6'4". That's never discussed. Unbelievable. What a joke. He knows it's a joke, in my opinion. My friend's Hitler. He knows this is all lies from Thompson reading off.
And he ended up killing her, also with a large knife. Ethan Chapin, Xana's boyfriend, was asleep in their bedroom, in her bedroom.
Oh, he was asleep, was he?
Then it killed him as well.
Oh, really? Oh,
Victim suffered multiple wounds.
can you believe it? Some people actually believe Thompson when he's reading off. There was no tragedy, my friends. There was no unalivings, right? It was a staged crime scene from the get-go. Anybody looks at it, you can tell. I mean, come on.
One of those roommates awoke, looked out her door, not knowing what was going on.
Oh,
And
God.
saw the
All
defendant
lies.
was dressed in black,
All lies, my friends.
holding some sort of container in his hand.
Exactly, Allie Jones.
Saw him leave-
Allie Jones, how did you know I was going live and apparently nobody else does? Nobody else is joining the chat page with you and I. What's going on? Can you leave me a comment? Tell me. There's David Morris, just as I see that. David Morris says, hello. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
So later, Finn's car is seen on a surveillance camera for 1112 King Road, which is immediately next
Almost
door.
every single statement, my friends, he's making and reading off is a lie.
At a high rate of speed. And if the court were to see that, or anybody in this courtroom were to see that, you can see the car almost loses control as it makes.
Oh, loses control. But no evidence, by the way, everyone. They will not tell you, of course, what we all should know. There's no evidence of the bodies being removed. Many people have talked about it, right? No pre-trial evidence of the bodies. This is unheard of, my friends. It was a staged crime scene. That's why. They didn't even have time, apparently, to do fake body bags with actually people in a body bag to move it out of the house, right? It was all staged when they didn't treat it like a health hazard. As I say in my videos over and over again. I know, what was his motive? Yeah, no motive for this federal agent, Brian Kohberger. He's a federal agent, folks.
About 4:48 that morning, Finn's phone comes back on.
I didn't. I was scrolling down, Allie Jones says. Thanks for finding me. David Morris, what's up?
Likely at a side road intersection with Highway 95. From there, the defendant's
Thompson, Mr. Santa Claus, right? What a piece of work.
Towards Pullman, Washington, where the defendant
Can you hear what he's saying, folks? I hope the volume's good enough. I don't want to have to blast it. I got an adorable my niece here. I don't think she might. Turn up just a notch.
Vehicle as he enters Pullman from the south and heads north and slightly west towards his apartment where he arrived approximately 5:30 in the morning. Later that morning, this on Sunday, the 13th of November of 2022, Mr. Kohberger's phone turned to the area of King Road. We don't know exactly what he did, but it returned to that area. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning.
This is all nonsense, my friends. Who cares where Brian was? He wasn't in the house. Why would a Brian Kohberger go in 1122 King Road that night, my friends, and do stab?
Selfie of himself on his phone.
Regretful Trollo, super handsome.
Thumbs up.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The defendant's phone is then linked to the Lewiston Clarkson Valley.
Thanks for the comment.
And the defendant was actually seen with his car at various businesses down there. This area is the confluence of the Clearwater River and the Snake River. Lewiston is Idaho's seaport.
See, this was all part of the story that they had to build, my friends, that, you know, so they could go to court and you do a fake unaliving, I believe, fake quadruple unaliving, right? Arrest a guy from out of town, Brian Kohberger, as part of the convenient narrative, because the university establishment law enforcement, apparently they thought they couldn't arrest somebody in Moscow, Idaho, right? They didn't want to affect their reputations there. It's all pre-planned, everyone. It's all nonsense, largely, okay? And so they pre-planned all the driving, you know, as Brian's cars in the neighborhood. Who cares? He never went in the house.
To delete or alter his purchase history on Amazon.
But let's listen. Oh, the Amazon purchases.
Later that week, state's evidence showed
So crazy.
Mr. Kohberger went to what we call DMV, motor vehicle licensing here in Idaho, in Pullman, to change his car.
We're going to have fun with Brian Kohberger, my friends, because he's deceiving the world, I believe. Even though he didn't do this atrocity, this guy's a Fed all the way, my friends. He's got to be, and you will never see him again. He's not going to be rotting in a jail cell, in my opinion. He'll be relocated elsewhere, everyone. It's very easy for the Feds to do this, very easy. And this is how they operate. It's a program, my friends, okay? The prosecution, they know what's going on, my friends. They know this is largely all lies.
At Washington State University and returned to Pennsylvania for the holidays. Law enforcement at this point were aware of Mr. Kohberger had been accessing information.
And my friends, in my opinion, every single person in the prosecution that is spouted off in this case, and the defense, and Brian Kohberger in a way too, my friends, they are cowards. Absolute cowards in some ways, my friends, because they lied and deceived you, and they will not tell you the truth. There wasn't even a tragedy. There's no evidence to support there was a tragedy at 1122 King Road that night, my friends. The Feds did their job, I'm telling you, and rescued those students. Okay? They knew they were under threat. I mean, come on.
Where the lab experts there were able to identify DNA on a Q-tip as coming from
Q-tip.
the father.
Isn't that precious? A Q-tip.
Was found on the knife sheath.
Oh, right.
Matched the Logan's body.
Wonderful skin cells they find on a button snap of a knife sheath. Do you buy that, folks? Oh my God. I never bought into that. I bought into some of the lies for the first year and a half, but never the skin cells on a knife sheath from a lone wolf killer, Brian Kohberger. No.
Upon his return to Idaho, a DNA sample was taken from him, and it matched the DNA.
Hope you're having a good day, everyone. My thousands of YouTubers on the live here.
I can tell the court.
No, it's not thousands, but I appreciate each and every one of you, everyone. I really do. Hope you share this live, perhaps.
That the defendant's apartment in Pullman was searched, as well as his office.
Ali says he got off to jail, meaning he lay low for months, wait for the hype to die down, and he behind some office job. People just think he's rotting in jail. Exactly, Ali Jones, brilliant. If you ever want to do a live with me, I don't know if you'd like to be in front of the camera, just ask me and we can set it up, okay? That's brilliant. But thank you for being here, man. Thanks for leaving those comments. Totally agree with you.
In the doors, you can try to keep them clean where you put stuff. There's always some degree of cred in there that responds.
They didn't even treat it like a biohazard to begin with, and you destroyed the crime scene. Are you kidding me?
Present to the jury.
As everybody said, are you kidding me? And you're going to use they were going to use a dollhouse in the trial. Can you imagine a 3D printed dollhouse? And it was all lies, my friends, right? Because now the feds have pulled the plug because they're cowards, some of them, and some of the feds, not all the feds. A lot of the feds are great people, my friends, but it's just whoever is in control of the power structure here, my friends, they're cowards. They knew many YouTube sleuths out there were putting out powerful information with all the discrepancies in this case, or many of them. I mean, there's so many we can't even, it would take literally weeks to go through. So they won't even go to trial because they're cowards, my friends. Can you imagine? And Brian Kohberger will be relocated. He'll have a beautiful life somewhere, maybe even near Killian Maddie and Ethan Chapman and Xander Canuto, because I believe they're protected as well under WITSEC program. He's similar with Brian, my friends, and they'll set him up with a job because he did his job well on this assignment, everyone. This is how it works, okay? Trust me. Smash one egg in your bald head. I got a round bald head. You better, when you leave a comment like that, say the truth. It's a round bald head, you moron. And it's in, and it's sexy, I was told, even by my hairdresser. That's why she wanted me to go bald.
All right, based on the...
Now let's get to the real matter, not my bald head. Let's get to the video here, folks. Go to Once Upon a Crime Time. This is his live, man. Awesome.
Therefore, with respect to count 1, burglary, felony, how do you plead, Mr. Kohberger, guilty or not guilty?
Not, no!
Count 2,
Say not guilty, Brian Kohberger. You're a Fed, man, and you didn't do it.
the murder of
Dude, you're just an actor. We want the trial.
As to count
No!
3, as it relates to murder in the
This
first
is a
degree,
joke.
the murder of Kaylee.
It's not right. It makes no sense, Randy. Oh.
As to count 4,
Unbelievable.
first degree murder of Xander
Oh my
Canuto,
God. I totally agree, Tommy.
human being, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty? Guilty. As to count 5,
He's so calm.
first degree murder of
Like he's not even nervous.
plead, guilty or not guilty? Guilty.
You gotta smile, my friends. It's so pathetic. You gotta smile.
Court will find-
Are you smiling? The idiot that said, made a joke about my bald head?
And, each offense, possible consequences to him of his guilty plea.
Oh, this
Finds
troll.
the factual basis for the plea and that finds the
Oh, check your
defendant's
channel, you
best
moron.
interest. I find that the plea was given freely, voluntarily, and intelligently made. I accept the plea. I direct that it be entered. I'll continue the matter for sentencing in this case. I think it was mentioned on the call Monday afternoon.
Randy says, come on, Brian. We can't all be this far off. I agree with you, Randy. This is a joke.
Defend the state also.
Yes, Your Honor, the state does not believe pre-sentence investigation is needed, given the evidence that is available. We want to, though, make sure that all of the victims have the opportunity to make statements before the sentencing.
Absolutely, and certainly.
Absolute cowardly, my friends. They're so scared. The state,
Sentencing memorandum and other
the
documents.
university establishment parts, elements of them, elements of the FBI, they're so scared of going to trial ultimately, everyone. Whether it was pre-planned all the way that they knew they weren't going to go to trial, but
They
they,
just fucking get it over with
I do not
now.
believe so, Your
yeah,
Honor.
they gathered all the information, my friends, on you amazing sleuths in particular out there that were digging at the truth on the Moscow, Idaho, provided a lot of truth, although too many, unfortunately, did buy into the atrocity happening. But
I'm sure he's gonna accept it, and
but it's, you guys should give credit to yourselves, you guys and gals. You scared the shit out of the state and the prosecution. And unfortunately now, as you see, they're pulling the plug, right? And Brian is a Fed, my friends. If he wasn't a Fed, he'd plead not guilty, in my opinion. Right, everyone? Brian Kohberger, why would he want to spend life in prison, my friends? Why, right? Why would you just not take a chance? Why would you be fearful of being shot when you're not going to have, if this is legit, he'd be under threat every single day, everyone, in a death penalty case. And believe me, people would get to him and brutalize or kill him. That's a fact, everyone. With a quadruple unaliving, if he did it. So what does that tell you, everyone? Because it tells you that Brian Kohberger is actually a Fed. It's all theater, my friends, because it doesn't make any sense otherwise, right?
I had,
Brian Kohberger, I've always said he looks like a Fed and he acts like a Fed, my friends. Come on.
22nd.
Come on. Oh, defense went on. He's got autism. Really? Does he have autism? I don't think so, my friends. Probably not.